putting your hands in a man's hair when you hug him, that is a very intimate thing to do. And if you're wondering why I'm talking about that, it's because we're talking about the hug heard around the world. And everyone was trying to comfort JD Vance by showing this image where he had his hand on his hip. But if you watch the video, this is not what it looks like. His hand brushed, like, he's not the problem here.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight.
My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community. With two loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister. That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country.
JD Vance has been in the spotlight for months.
JD Vance has been soaking up the spotlight for months, but nobody saw just how messy his personal life would explode. It all kicked off when whispers of an extramarital affair started buzzing online. And the name dragged into the drama? None other than Erika Kirk, a woman with deep ties in politics and media circles. But the real jaw-dropper? Vance's wife finally broke her silence, dropping details that stunned the public and left gossip hounds speechless. Welcome back to Royal Spotlight. And yes, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time, because we uncover the untold chaos behind the headlines, the hidden truths, and the whispers the world wasn't meant to hear. According to multiple insiders, the so-called friendship between Kirk and Vance began professionally, or at least it looked that way. They met at swanky events, rubbing elbows with politicians, media stars, and big-money donors. At first, all smiles and handshakes, but soon the private chats, lingering moments, and subtle flirts got a little too cozy for public comfort. Then came the bombshell. Vance's wife discovered a trail of text messages hinting at something far hotter than mere friendship. Confrontations allegedly followed, a scene insiders describe as an emotional meltdown testing loyalty, trust, and every fragile feeling in the room. For weeks, she wrestled with doubt, late-night calls, vague work excuses, and a creeping distance that screamed trouble. When she finally spoke, her words burned with raw emotion, showing a woman caught between betrayal and love as a seemingly rock-solid marriage teetered on the edge. Meanwhile, Kirk stayed mum, vanishing from social media, deleting photos, posting less, and leaving the public guessing. The result? Media storm so wild, it's harder than ever to tell fact from rumor. And the reactions? Absolutely explosive, just as no one could have predicted.
So, does anyone else think JD Vance's first wife, Usha, might be looking for an exit plan right about now? I mean, it's bad enough that she's married to a guy who went on national TV and said it's totally fine for Americans to want to live next to people who are just like them and speak the same language. Then, she has to sit back and watch him all over Erika Kirk, who, let's be real, looks like she's trying to lock down another famous guy. But it doesn't stop there. JD Vance literally goes on stage and shames his wife for not being Christian, saying he hopes she'll convert and find the right path. As if that's not enough, he also ties immigration to assimilation, which, if you know anything about Usha's upbringing in a traditional Hindu immigrant family, makes this whole situation extra awkward. I don't know about you, but I can't imagine many women would be cool with their husband talking about them like that in public and then getting all touchy-feely with another recently widowed woman in front of everyone. That's just...
Many have come to JD Vance's wife's defense, praising her courage and candor in deciding to share her grief rather than remain silent. But others have suggested the story may have been exaggerated or deliberately exploited by people with political motives. Whatever the final truth, the incident has opened a much broader debate about the value of integrity, the line between private and public life, and the price of ambition in a never-ending spotlight. JD Vance, once known for his strong image, sharp words, and confidence in politics, is now facing a completely different kind of scrutiny. Not for his policies or views, but for his personal life choices.
Everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. So we've decided to raise our kids Christian. Our two oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement. But, thank you. My 8-year-old was also very proud of his first communion. Thank you, guys. I'll tell him that Ole Miss wishes him the best. But I think everybody has to have this own conversation when you're in a marriage. I mean, it's true for friends of mine who are in Protestant and Catholic marriages, friends of mine who are in, atheist and Christian marriages. You just got to talk to the only advice I can give is you just got to talk to the person that God has put you with, and you've got to make those decisions as a family unit. For us, it works out. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
The fallout from these revelations is still rocking everyone involved. The psychological toll on J.D. Vance's family is said to be the most profound, a wound that refuses to heal quickly. What began as a tiny online whisper has ballooned into one of the hottest topics in recent weeks, leaving the public questioning how many secrets are lurking behind closed doors. As the saga of Vance and Erika Kirk spreads, the story grows messier, more emotional, and impossible to ignore. What started as backstage gossip has exploded into a full-blown media frenzy. Since Vance's wife broke her silence, the internet has erupted with speculation, heated debate, and endless analysis. Opinions are split, but most of the public isn't buying any of it. J.D. Vance, once celebrated for his discipline, composure, and impeccable image, now finds himself in a precarious spotlight he never wanted. Sources close to him say the family atmosphere has become almost unbearable. His wife's decision to go public was reportedly one of the hardest of her life, torn between guarding her family's privacy and revealing what she believed the world needed to know. In the end, she spoke out, a move seen as both brave and heartbreaking, forever reshaping how the public views everyone involved. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk dominates social media chatter, with thousands debating whether she's a pawn of circumstance or an active player in a tangled web. Those who know her describe her as intelligent, magnetic, and driven, especially in faith and community projects. But these new revelations have cast a shadow over that image, making people wonder, how could someone once considered exemplary get tangled in such controversy?
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight. JD Vance.
These are my morning pants.
That's the American dream. Divorcing your brown wife and marrying a white blonde one whose husband exploded.
He reminds me of my husband in so many ways.
Behind the scenes, a few mutual acquaintances reportedly tried to play peacemaker, even suggesting private mediation or counseling for the Vance family. But insiders say the damage was already done. J.D. Vance's wife reportedly felt not just a loss of trust, but a profound hurt as the story exploded into public view, a pain sharper than the betrayal itself. The fact that the woman allegedly involved had once been welcomed into their social circle only added layers of complication. Public reaction? Completely split. Some fans rushed to defend Vance, claiming the rumors were blown out of proportion for political or media gain. Others insisted betrayal is betrayal and the truth would come out eventually. Supporters of Erika Kirk pleaded for calm, urging the public to wait for clarity. Critics, meanwhile, suggested she might be hiding something, amplified by unverified claims that more private messages and photos could surface. True or not, just the whispers alone were enough to stoke the fire. Sources reveal that Vance's team has entered full crisis mode, working non-stop to contain the fallout and protect his image. Amid the storm, his wife remains the focal point, described as torn between anger and grief, struggling to regain balance after what has been a public blow to her marriage. Though she has not spoken further, her silence carries weight, leaving the world guessing her next move. For Erika Kirk, her public and professional future hangs by a thread. Whether she speaks out, issues a statement, or quietly steps back, one fact is clear. This story has shaken everything and will linger in conversation for a long time. In the wake of these shocking revelations, both Vance and Kirk faced a media storm neither seemed ready for. What unfolded was no ordinary scandal. It was a slow-motion unraveling of trust, reputation, and power, all under the relentless gaze of public scrutiny. Behind the scenes,
what is this, Erika?
a few mutual acquaintances reportedly tried to play peacemaker, even suggesting private mediation or counseling for the Vance family. But insiders say the damage was already done. J.D. Vance's wife reportedly felt not just a loss of trust, but a profound hurt. As the story exploded into public view, a pain sharper than the betrayal itself. The fact that the woman allegedly involved had once been welcomed into their social circle only added layers of complication. Public reaction completely split. Some fans rushed to defend
According
Vance,
to those close to
claiming the
J.D.
rumors were blown out of proportion for political or media gain. Others insisted betrayal is betrayal, and the truth would come out eventually. Supporters of Erika Kirk pleaded for calm, urging the public to wait for clarity. Critics, meanwhile, suggested she might be hiding something, amplified by unverified claims that more private messages and photos could surface. True or not, just the whispers alone were enough to stoke the fire. Sources reveal that Vance's team has entered full crisis mode, working non-stop to contain the fallout and protect his image. Amid the storm, his wife remains the focal point, described as torn between anger and grief, struggling to regain balance after what has been a public blow to her marriage. Though she has not spoken further, her silence carries weight, leaving the world guessing her next move. For Erika Kirk, her public and professional future hangs by a thread. Whether she speaks out, issues a statement, or quietly steps back, one fact is clear. This story has shaken everything and will linger in conversation for a long time. In the wake of these shocking revelations, both Vance and Kirk faced a media storm neither seemed ready for. What unfolded was no ordinary scandal. It was a slow-motion unraveling of trust, reputation, and power, all under the relentless gaze of public scrutiny. Attendees now describe J.D. Vance as quieter, distant, even occasionally absent-minded, like he's desperately hiding something. Observers say the relentless public pressure and non-stop allegations are slowly eroding the strong, confident image he once projected. An insider revealed his communications team advised him to pull back, limit press appearances, and wait for the storm to pass before any formal response. But as everyone knows, the public rarely forgets, and social media never sleeps. Once a scandal like this breaks, it takes on a life of its own. Every old photo, every interview from years past, even fleeting touches or a downward glance is dissected, remixed, and spread at lightning speed. Vance's every gesture is now scrutinized, spun in countless ways. Some see a man maintaining composure. Others see mounting pressure and fatigue. Social media is a swirl of competing theories, and the story has completely spiraled out of control. It's no longer just about J.D. or Erika Kirk. It's a full-blown media phenomenon, where fact, rumor, and emotion collide, blurring the lines of reality. The question now, is this mere human weakness? Or did it expose a complex web of ambition, secrecy, and power lurking in the shadows for months? Political insiders say networks of relationships and personal intrigues existed long before this story broke, but it took the Vance-Kirk scandal to unravel them. As more details and voices emerged, one thing became painfully clear. This affair was beyond repair. Ironically, the silence from both sides only stoked the fire. The public was left lost between fact and speculation, unverified evidence and conflicting accounts. The less they explained, the juicier the story became. A real-life political drama where every character has a secret. As the dust settles, the fragmented pieces reveal something bigger than betrayal. A lesson on the power of public image, the cost of fame, and how fragile trust can be in a world that calculates every move. Those close to Vance say that, in the months leading up to the explosion, small but telling signs were already visible. Longer absences from home, frequent late-night calls, and unexplained moments of separation from his family. At the time, It was all explained away as a politician's demanding work schedule. But now, in retrospect, those details take on a completely different meaning, as if the pieces of a puzzle had long been in place. A close family friend revealed that JD's wife had sensed something was amiss, but she never dreamed it would spiral into a full-blown national spectacle. Now, with the media glare locked on their every move, each gesture, each old quote, every fleeting smile is being dissected frame by frame. And while the world hunts for answers, one question keeps echoing. Is this a simple family implosion, or a glimpse into something much bigger unraveling behind the curtains of power? Meanwhile, Erika Kirk's role has grown increasingly tangled, complex, ambiguous, layered with contradictions. Fresh reports suggest her connection with JD Vance began innocently enough. Community outreach, religious initiatives, and TPUSA-backed projects tied to shared beliefs in faith and family values. But insiders say that line between mission and emotion blurred over time. What started as idea exchanges soon stretched into longer, warmer, more intimate meetings. Shared ideals quietly evolved into personal attachment, and as one insider admitted, it went further than anyone imagined. The media pounced. The moment rumors surfaced, Kirk became the centerpiece of a full-scale frenzy. Once seen as the epitome of grace, a respected Christian voice and symbol of family virtue, she suddenly found herself under a microscope. Experts call it the most serious blow to her public image yet. Critics claim her prolonged silence isn't accidental. It's strategy. A calculated pause while the chaos spins itself out, giving her control when the dust settles. Supporters, however, see it differently. A woman protecting her privacy, refusing to feed the toxic circus. Either way, her disappearance has become part of the story. Every deleted post, every skipped event, every vanished photo now fuels speculation, from media spin to deliberate avoidance. And the less Erika Kirk appears, the more magnetic her mystery becomes, pulling the public deeper into curiosity about what's really unfolding behind the scenes. On the other hand, JD Vance is enduring an unprecedented storm, both political and personal. For years, he was hailed as the poster boy for integrity and traditional family values, a man defined by duty and faith. Now that image is cracking wide open, with every past statement on loyalty and morality being replayed, questioned, and dissected under the harsh light of public judgment. Although JD Vance has yet to issue any official statement regarding the allegations, his recent public appearances have revealed the growing psychological strain. The senator, once known for his steady composure and assured presence, now appears noticeably subdued. More cautious, more contemplative. Observers point out that he speaks slowly, weighs each word with precision, and rarely displays the easy confidence that once defined him. Some interpret this as a deliberate act of discipline, a political strategy to stay in control. Others, however, see the fatigue of a man carrying the weight of two conflicting worlds, the political and the personal. Media analysts have noted how carefully he manages his gestures, the timing of his handshakes, the steadiness of his gaze, even the rhythm of his breathing when answering questions. But ironically, that very effort to appear composed only deepens public suspicion. The more controlled he seems, the more people assume there's something he's trying to hide, whether true or not. At this point, the JD Vance-Erika Kirk controversy has evolved into something far larger than a mere personal scandal. It's become a case study in the fragility of public image in the age of relentless media exposure. Both now face not only the challenge of defending their reputations, but also the impossible task of shaping how the world perceives them. In today's climate, silence itself can look like guilt, and every carefully chosen word risks becoming ammunition. In political circles, reactions have been sharp and self-serving. Some of Vance's closest allies have publicly stood by him, urging patience and dismissing the allegations as unsubstantiated rumor. Yet behind closed doors, others have quietly stepped back, creating distance to protect their own positions from the fallout. Meanwhile, the internet has done what it always does, turning fragments into firestorms. Old photos, brief interactions, and seemingly innocent exchanges between JD and Erika from years ago are being exhumed, magnified, and endlessly analyzed. A glance, a handshake, a smile, Every frame has become evidence in the court of public opinion. Old clips and forgotten posts are now being dissected frame by frame, replayed, reinterpreted, and repurposed until the entire story looks darker and more twisted than ever. Yet, underneath all the noise and sensationalism, there's something far more human unfolding. A story about trust lost, vulnerability exposed, and the price of choices made in secrecy. Whether the swirling accusations and expert analyses hold any truth or not, one thing remains painfully clear. The emotional fallout is real. A family has been shaken to its core, reputations are hanging by threads, and once solid friendships have cracked under the pressure. Observers say this saga has long outgrown the realm of private scandal. It's now a mirror reflecting how our society feasts on downfall. In an era where a rumor can become a headline in minutes, privacy isn't lost, it's devoured. As for J.D. Vance's wife, insiders say she's retreated from the spotlight entirely, devoting herself to her children and emotional recovery. She's declined appearances, interviews, and even casual public outings, a silent refusal to feed the chaos. Those who know her describe a woman of quiet strength, carrying heartbreak with remarkable grace, while the world watches and judges. Her calm has become her loudest statement. Online forums have already dubbed her the only one who didn't speak but earned respect. To many, she represents dignity amid disaster, the one person who didn't chase attention, yet became the face of strength itself. And maybe that's why her silence hits harder than any public statement ever could. Because sometimes, in a world addicted to noise, true power lies not in speaking out, but in staying unbroken while everything around you burns. Whether the J.D. Vance-Erika Kirk affair is fact, fiction, or a twisted blend of both, one truth stands unshaken. Public image has never been more fragile or more fleeting. We live in a world where every word, every glance, and even every silence becomes a story waiting to be dissected. This saga lays bare the truth behind the polished smiles, the flawless interviews, and the carefully curated perfect family images, showing that even the most admired faces often hide sleepless nights, silent doubts, and buried battles. Beneath the glamour, even the strongest people wage private wars, torn between fame and conscience, between what the world expects and what the heart truly feels. As millions wait for the next leak, the next picture, the next tearful statement, one thing is crystal clear. The story of J.D. Vance and Erika Kirk has permanently rewritten how the world sees them. Because silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means the storm isn't over yet. In an age ruled by headlines, truth has become the quietest voice in the room. No one, not politicians, not celebrities, not icons of faith or family, escapes the cracks of being human. Every reputation, no matter how polished, stands on fragile ground. And maybe that's the real takeaway. It's not about where they fell, but how, or if, they'll rise again. Because a reputation can take a lifetime to build, and just one whisper to destroy. Candace Owens just shared a shocking revelation about Charlie Kirk's passing, and it's clear that it was no accident. According to her, Charlie had a premonition that something serious was coming, and sadly, it may have been the people closest to him who made him lose faith.
I want to say one more thing rather explosively. 3 people told me off record, 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie, one who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me, okay? He did not express that to me, so I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people. And I am saying this because I hope that these people who I think are good will be inspired to come forward with that. Again, those conversations I had were off record. I honor that. If I say it's off record, it stays off record. But I'm hoping that watching what I am doing and feeling the energy that is rising across the world for people who want to know what the heck happened on 9/10, that, you know, they will be brave and they will say, yeah, Charlie did the day before he died think that he was going to be killed, and maybe tell us, who is they? Well, for once and for all, who is they? Who is the they that he thought were going to kill him?